I could have just said some boring name for this and people probably wouldn't have noticed. But when you come up growth hacking, it sounds just weird enough that I think it caused people to take pause and actually think, what the heck is this? Should I be paying attention? A lot of people got pissed off. Yeah, when I coined the term, I obviously had very specific things in mind that it meant, and people got excited about it. Those things. That's why it's kind of funny when you say like growth hacking, is it in? Is growth hacking out? I think that ultimately there's kind of a universal truth of how growth works. I don't really care about the semantics of what you call it. I think it's more about how do you effectively drive growth in businesses and what works and what doesn't work. And of course, it's not exactly the same in every business. So it's kind of how it works in general, and then how it works specifically. It's really all of those things. It's kind of, there's a process to growth. There is a set of skills that you need to be able to execute growth. And then there's also the cross-functional piece. I'll point to examples that are like much more extreme, like even outside of business, where that kind of mindset, mentality, and approach can make a big difference. I'll start with a business example. It led to the kind of epiphany that probably accounted for 50% of our incremental revenue over the next 6 months. That was one place where it was really powerful for us. But another place, totally unrelated, was coaching my daughter's soccer team. There's all these interdependencies that are essentially a puzzle that you need to get those pieces to work. If you have just one piece wrong, it's not going to be sustainable. I was going to actually reference one company that kind of got those pieces right on a podcast I'm actually publishing tomorrow, which is kind of just watch the business for a while. And then one day I looked at it and said, oh my God, I see how this all fits together. And it was essentially when their stock is well over 1,000% up. They figured out one thing that put them on a trajectory to where now they're definitely on track to unicorn status. And it's not what you would normally think. Amazon is completely about growth hacking. I met with the Canva team in Sydney pretty early. Microsoft was one of the first companies that I did a workshop with, and on their crown jewel office group. Increasingly I'm working with top fast-moving consumer goods companies that are moving in this direction. If they get there first, it'll be a superpower. If they get there later, it'll be a survival tactic. Today there's just enough companies that are doing things in the right way that it's just really hard to compete. If I can apply it in a soccer field, if I can apply it in a totally analog trade show, I think when you look at almost any business, there's a lot of improvement that you can make when you